Have you ever thought about why we're all fascinated by the unknown? Why does the unpredictable catch our attention? It is human nature to be drawn to the unknown and unpredictable. This psychology can be applied in love and relationships. Today, we will tell you 6 dark psychological tactics to make anyone think about you nonstop via stories in our society and also in history. But remember, these should not be used on someone you genuinely love. They are for educational purposes only. Rule number 1, avoid getting jealous of other men around them. Jealousy, while a common emotion, is often seen as a sign of weakness and insecurity. When you show jealousy, you're telling her that you feel threatened, that you're not confident in your position. That's not the image you want to project. Instead, you want to embody confidence and security, 2 traits that are highly attractive. The strategy here is to remain unfazed when other men are around. If she's talking to another guy, keep cool. Show that you're secure in yourself and in whatever you have with her. This nonchalant attitude can actually work in your favor. It plays into the psychological principle of reactance. When people feel their freedom to choose is being restricted, they want it more. By not showing jealousy, you're not restricting her, you're giving her the freedom to choose. Paradoxically, this often leads her to choose you, as you've positioned yourself as the more confident, unbothered option. However, this doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent. It's about showing her that your value and self-worth don't depend on her actions. You're in control of your emotions, not the other way around. By mastering this, you increase your psychological appeal. You're not just another guy reacting predictably out of jealousy. You're the guy who stands out because you're secure in yourself and unshaken by potential competition. Jealousy is the tribute mediocrity pays to genius, said Fulton J. Sheen, and as we gather here today, let us delve into a tale from the annals of history that embodies this wisdom. Picture, if you will, the bustling streets of ancient Athens, a city alive with the hum of philosophy, politics, and the arts. It was here, amidst the marble columns and olive groves, that a young philosopher named Lysander found himself grappling with the very essence of human emotion, jealousy. Lysander was a student of the great Socrates, a man whose teachings on virtue and self-control were renowned throughout the city. Yet, despite his mentor's wisdom, Lysander struggled with feelings of envy, particularly when it came to his beloved, Callista. She was a woman of remarkable beauty and intellect, admired by many, and often the center of attention at the symposiums they attended. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the Acropolis, Lysander and Callista attended a gathering at the home of a wealthy patron. The room was filled with the city's elite, and among them was a charismatic orator named Demetrius. His words flowed like honey, captivating all who listened, and it wasn't long before Callista found herself engaged in conversation with him. As Lysander watched from a distance, he felt the familiar pang of jealousy rise within him. His mind raced with thoughts of inadequacy and fear of losing Callista's affection. But then, he remembered the teachings of Socrates, who often spoke of the importance of self-mastery and the folly of allowing emotions to dictate one's actions. In that moment, Lysander made a conscious decision. He would not succumb to jealousy. Instead, he would embody the virtues of confidence and security that Socrates had instilled in him. He approached Callista and Demetrius with a calm demeanor, joining their conversation with genuine interest and without a hint of possessiveness. As the evening wore on, Lysander's nonchalant attitude began to have an unexpected effect. Callista, noticing his composure and self-assuredness, found herself drawn to him even more. She appreciated his trust in her and his ability to remain unfazed by the presence of another man. It was a testament to his character, a silent declaration of his confidence in their relationship. This approach, as we see, is not about passivity or indifference. It's about understanding that our value and self-worth are not contingent upon the actions of others. By maintaining control over our emotions, we project an image of strength and stability, qualities that are inherently attractive. Lysander's story teaches us that jealousy, while a natural emotion, is often a reflection of our own insecurities. When we allow it to govern our actions, we inadvertently reveal our vulnerabilities. But by choosing to rise above it, we demonstrate a level of maturity and self-assurance that sets us apart. In the days that followed, Lysander continued to practice this newfound wisdom. He learned to trust in himself and in the bond he shared with Callista. And in doing so, he discovered a profound truth, that true confidence is not about asserting dominance or control, but about embracing one's own worth and allowing others the freedom to choose. As we reflect on this tale, let us remember that the path to self-mastery is not without its challenges. It requires introspection, patience, and a willingness to confront our own fears. But in overcoming jealousy, we unlock a deeper understanding of ourselves and the relationships we cherish. We stand here today, let us commit to embodying the virtues of confidence and security. Let us strive to be like Lysander, unshaken by the presence of others, and steadfast in our belief in our own worth. For in doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also inspire those around us to do the same. And thus, our journey through the streets of ancient Athens, carrying with us the timeless lesson that jealousy is not a testament to love, but a barrier to it. May we all find the strength to rise above it and embrace the freedom that comes with true self-assurance. Rule number 2, don't always be predictable. This is the place where interest goes to die. By nature, humans are curious beings. We're drawn to mysteries and things we can't quite figure out. When you're predictable, you're easy to figure out. It's like watching a movie you've seen 100 times. You know every line, every scene. No surprises, and that gets boring fast. People lose interest in things they can predict, especially in relationships. It's the excitement of the unknown that keeps things alive. When you're being unpredictable, you're essentially tapping into the basics of manipulation. You're playing with the principles of reward and uncertainty. It's like a slot machine. The unpredictability of the reward keeps people pulling the lever. In this case, you're the slot machine. Sometimes you give her attention and affection, and then you pull back. This inconsistency triggers something deep in the brain. It creates a kind of addiction. She starts craving your attention because she can't predict when she'll get it. This isn't just about being a mystery, it's about creating an emotional roller coaster. The highs are higher when she doesn't see them coming, and the lows, when you're distant, make her strive for your attention. It's a form of psychological control, a way to keep her thinking about you and wanting more because she can't figure out your emotional pattern. Let's embark on a journey through a tale that weaves together the threads of human connection, curiosity, and the art of unpredictability. Imagine us gathered in a cozy room, the soft glow of candlelight casting shadows on the walls, as we delve into a story that might just change the way we perceive relationships. In the vibrant city of Athenia, where the streets buzz with life and the air is thick with possibility, we find ourselves observing two couples whose lives are about to take intriguing turns. On one side of town, Marcus and Sophia live a life of comforting routine. Marcus, a man of habit, wakes each morning at precisely 6 a.m. His day unfolds like a well-rehearsed script: coffee, newspaper, work, dinner, and sleep. Sophia, initially drawn to his stability, finds herself lulled into a sense of security. But as time passes, Sophia begins to feel a restlessness stirring within her. The predictability that once felt like a warm embrace now seems like a suffocating blanket. She yearns for something more, something that would ignite her spirit and keep her guessing. It's as if she's living in a beautifully crafted painting, but one that never changes, never evolves. Across town, a different story unfolds. Alex, a man of spontaneity and passion, lives life with a sense of adventure. One day, he surprises his partner, Emma, with a spontaneous road trip to the countryside, where they dance under the stars. The next day, he disappears into his creative projects, leaving Emma to ponder the enigma that is Alex. Emma finds herself captivated by his unpredictability, her mind a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. Emma's relationship with Alex is like a thrilling novel, each chapter filled with unexpected twists and turns. When Alex showers her with affection, she feels as though she's soaring on a cloud of euphoria. When he retreats into his world, she finds herself analyzing their last conversation, trying to decipher the mystery that is Alex. It's not manipulation, it's the natural ebb and flow of a life lived authentically. This unpredictability creates a magnetic pull, a constant state of anticipation. Emma feels more alive in her relationship with Alex than she ever has before. It's as if she's on a roller coaster, where each twist and turn brings new excitement and exhilaration. As we reflect on these two tales, we uncover a profound truth about human nature. We are inherently drawn to the unknown, to the mysteries that keep us engaged and curious. It's why we devour suspenseful novels, lose ourselves in captivating films, and find ourselves entranced by the allure of the unknown. Consider this: when was the last time we were truly exhilarated by something we could predict with absolute certainty? It's the uncertainty that keeps us engaged, that makes us feel truly alive. In relationships, this principle holds immense power. We're not suggesting playing games or being intentionally elusive. Rather, there's value in maintaining a sense of individuality and not always being readily available and surprising our partners with the unexpected. It's about creating a dynamic tension, like a beautifully composed piece of music. Too predictable, and it becomes mundane. Too erratic, and it loses harmony. But when balanced just right, it becomes a masterpiece. Some might argue that this is a form of manipulation. And yes, if wielded with ill intent, it could be. But when it stems from a place of genuine self-expression and authenticity, it's simply the dance of human nature. In nature, we are drawn to movement. A static object fades into the background, but something that moves unpredictably captures our attention. We're wired to notice and be intrigued by the unexpected. As our story reaches its climax, we introduce a twist. Unbeknownst to our couples, they're part of a grand social experiment. Hidden cameras capture their every move, their every interaction. A team of psychologists observes, analyzing the ebb and flow of their relationships. As weeks turn into months, we see a fascinating pattern emerge. Marcus and Sophia's predictable life begins to show cracks. Small at first, a missed dinner here, an unexpected outburst there. But soon, these cracks widen into chasms of discontent. We watch as they struggle to reignite the spark that once burned so brightly. Alex and Emma, on the other hand, face their own challenges. The constant unpredictability, while exhilarating, sometimes leaves Emma feeling unsteady, craving a modicum of stability. We see them navigate these choppy waters, finding anchor points amidst the storms of spontaneity. But here's where it gets really interesting. The psychologists introduce a wild card, a charismatic stranger who enters both couples' lives. We hold our breath as we watch how each couple responds to this new element of unpredictability. Marcus and Sophia, starved for excitement, are drawn to the stranger like moths to a flame. We see the danger, the potential for their relationship to combust under this new influence. Alex and Emma, accustomed to riding the waves of uncertainty, navigate this new dynamic with a grace that surprises even our seasoned observers. As our story concludes, we're left pondering the nature of human connection. We see that it's not about choosing between complete predictability and wild spontaneity. It's about finding that sweet spot, that perfect balance where security and excitement dance in harmony. In the end, our couples learn valuable lessons. Marcus and Sophia discover the importance of injecting mystery and surprise into their relationship. Alex and Emma learn to create islands of stability in their sea of spontaneity. We watch as they grow, evolve, and ultimately find a balance that keeps their connections vibrant and alive. So, what lessons can we draw from this tale? First, embrace the unknown. Allow yourself to be a mystery, to have layers that your partner can continually discover. Second, balance is key. Too much predictability can lead to stagnation, while too much unpredictability can create chaos. Find the harmony that works for you. Lastly, remember that relationships are a dance, a dynamic interplay of known and unknown. By embracing this dance, we keep our connections vibrant, exciting, and ever-evolving. Rule number 3, disappear suddenly. This one is about the element of surprise and the power of absence. When you suddenly become less available or go off the radar, it creates a sense of mystery and urgency. People want what they can't have, and by disappearing, you become the thing she can't have for a while. When you are consistent and predictable, you create a pattern, but you must break it. Go silent, no calls, no texts, no explanations. This triggers a psychological response called loss aversion. It's a principle that suggests people are more motivated by the fear of losing something than by the prospect of gaining something of equal value. In your absence, she starts to feel a potential loss, which ironically makes your value in her life skyrocket. But this tactic needs to be timed perfectly. It's not about ghosting or causing anxiety, it's about strategically creating a void, then reappearing just when she starts to really feel your absence. When you come back, you'll find that her interest and appreciation for you have grown. This isn't just a game, it's understanding human nature and the psychology of desire. People cherish what they have to miss once in a while, and that's exactly the role you'll play. Have you ever wondered why absence makes the heart grow fonder? Let me share a story that might shed some light on this age-old wisdom. Imagine you're at a bustling cafe, sipping your favorite brew. The aroma of freshly ground coffee beans fills the air, and the gentle hum of conversation surrounds you. As you look around, you notice a couple at a nearby table. They seem happy, comfortable in each other's presence. But there's something different about them. You see, this couple has a secret. A secret that's been the cornerstone of their thriving relationship. It's not grand gestures or lavish gifts. No, it's something far more subtle and powerful. It's the art of strategic absence. Now, you might be thinking, absence? How can that possibly strengthen a relationship? Well, let me tell you about Sarah and Mike. They've been together for 5 years, and their bond is stronger than ever. But it wasn't always smooth sailing. In the beginning, like many couples, they were inseparable. They texted constantly, spent every free moment together, and their friends jokingly called them the twins. But over time, that constant presence started to feel suffocating. The spark that once burned so brightly began to dim. That's when Sarah stumbled upon an ancient piece of wisdom. She learned about the power of absence, the magic of creating a void. At first, she was skeptical. How could leaving create closeness? But she decided to give it a try. One day, without warning, Sarah went off the grid. No calls, no texts, no social media updates. Mike was puzzled. He'd grown so accustomed to her constant presence that her sudden absence felt like a jolt to his system. At first, he barely noticed. But as hours turned into days, something strange began to happen. Mike found himself thinking about Sarah more and more. He'd see something funny and reach for his phone to text her, only to remember she wasn't available. He'd hear her favorite song on the radio and feel a pang in his chest. The void she'd created was making her presence in his life more apparent than ever. By the third day, Mike was genuinely missing Sarah. He realized how much he valued their conversations, her laughter, even the little quirks that used to annoy him. Her absence had rekindled the appreciation he'd started taking for granted. When Sarah reappeared, Mike's reaction surprised even him. He felt a rush of excitement, a renewed interest. It was as if he was seeing her with fresh eyes. The time apart had given them both space to miss each other, to remember why they fell in love in the first place. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't about playing games or causing anxiety. It's about understanding human nature. We often don't appreciate what we have until it's gone. By creating a temporary void, Sarah had tapped into a powerful psychological principle called loss aversion. You see, as humans, we're wired to fear loss more than we value gain. When something we've grown accustomed to suddenly disappears, it triggers a response in our brains. We start to value that thing more highly. In relationships, this can translate to a renewed appreciation and desire. But here's the key: timing is everything. Sarah didn't ghost Mike or leave him hanging indefinitely. She created a brief absence, just long enough to be felt, and then returned. It was like a reset button for their relationship. Since then, Sarah and Mike have incorporated this principle into their relationship in small ways. Sometimes it's a solo weekend trip, other times it's simply a day of no contact. Each time, they find that the brief separation brings them closer together. So, next time you find yourself taking someone for granted, remember Sarah and Mike. Remember that sometimes, it's not about being constantly present. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is create a little space, a little mystery. Because in that space, appreciation grows and hearts grow fonder. Rule number 4, make them emotionally dependent on you. This is where you get into their head. It's not just about being there for her, it's about becoming the person she can't live without. You're going to be the one who understands her better than anyone else, tapping into her deepest emotions and fears. Listen to her, learn what makes her tick, and then use that knowledge to become her emotional anchor. But here's the trick: do it selectively. Be there for her sometimes, and at other times, pull back. This inconsistency creates a sense of urgency and need that makes her crave your presence and support. At the same time, keep your own identity strong. Don't get lost in the role of being her support system. Pursue your own dreams and goals. This balance of being emotionally supportive while maintaining your independence creates a magnetic, irresistible pull. You are providing her with emotional support, but on your terms, making her increasingly reliant on the unique connection you offer. Imagine the ancient city of Athens, a place where philosophy and politics intertwined, and where the seeds of democracy were sown. It was a time of great thinkers, and among them was Socrates, a man whose influence extended far beyond his own lifetime. Socrates was not just a philosopher, He was a master of understanding human nature, and his relationship with his most famous student, Plato, serves as a timeless illustration of emotional dependence. Young people today can learn from this relationship that true mentorship goes beyond mere instruction. It involves a deep understanding of another person's potential and fears. Socrates and Plato shared a bond that was both intellectual and emotional. Socrates, with his probing questions and relentless pursuit of truth, became the person Plato could not imagine his life without. He was the one who understood Plato's deepest fears and aspirations, tapping into the young philosopher's mind in a way that no one else could. Socrates listened, not just to Plato's words, but to the silence between them, discerning the unspoken thoughts that lay beneath. Here's a crucial lesson for the youth: listening is an art. It's not just about hearing words, but understanding the emotions and thoughts behind them. This skill can transform relationships and lead to deeper connections. Yet, Socrates was not always present. He would engage Plato in intense dialogues, challenging his beliefs and pushing him to think deeper. But there were times when Socrates would step back, allowing Plato to ponder the questions on his own. This selective presence created a sense of urgency and need within Plato, making him crave Socrates' guidance and wisdom. Young people can learn from this that constant availability doesn't necessarily strengthen relationships. Sometimes, giving space allows others to grow and appreciate the connection more deeply. This dynamic was not one-sided. Socrates maintained his own identity, pursuing his philosophical inquiries and engaging with other thinkers of the time. He did not lose himself in the role of being Plato's mentor. Instead, he remained a figure of intellectual independence. This balance of being emotionally supportive while maintaining his own pursuits created a magnetic pull that was irresistible to Plato. A vital lesson here is the importance of maintaining one's own identity in any relationship. Young people should understand that losing oneself in another person, be it a friend, mentor, or romantic partner, is not healthy or sustainable. Plato's reliance on Socrates grew, yet so did his own intellectual prowess. Under Socrates' guidance, Plato began to see the world through a new lens, recognizing the potential within himself. Socrates had become his emotional anchor, yet he also empowered Plato to stand on his own, to question and explore the world independently. This teaches young people that true empowerment comes from guiding others to find their own strength, not by making them perpetually dependent. The relationship between Socrates and Plato was not without its challenges. There were moments of doubt and disagreement, but Plato knew he could turn to Socrates for insight and reassurance. And when Socrates was not there, Plato learned to find strength within himself, drawing on the lessons he had absorbed from his mentor. Young people can learn that disagreements and challenges are normal in any relationship. What matters is how we navigate these difficulties and grow from them. In this dance of intellect and emotion, Socrates succeeded in becoming someone Plato could not imagine his life without. Yet, he also succeeded in maintaining his own identity, his own philosophical journey. This balance was the key, the secret to creating an irresistible pull that was both magnetic and empowering. The lesson here is about balance, being there for others while not neglecting one's own growth and journey. As we reflect on this historical relationship, we see that the true essence of making someone emotionally dependent is not about control or manipulation. It's about being present, being genuine, and above all, being oneself. It's about offering support on one's own terms, creating a connection that is both nurturing and liberating. Young people should understand that genuine connections are built on authenticity, not manipulation or pretense. So, as we navigate our own relationships, let us remember this: be the person they can't live without, but also be the person we can't live without. pursue our own dreams, maintain our own identity, and in doing so, we'll create bonds that are both powerful and enduring. This is the art of making someone emotionally dependent, a lesson that transcends time and continues to resonate in our lives today. The final lesson for young people is about self-worth. Your value doesn't come from how much others need you, but from how true you are to yourself while supporting others. This balance is the key to healthy, meaningful relationships. Rule number 5: don't show too much excitement when you meet with them. This rule is all about controlling the emotional climate of your interactions. In the game of psychological influence, showing too much excitement can be a sign of weakness. It's like giving away your power, showing that you're too invested, too interested. Instead, you want to keep a level of composure and mystery about your feelings. Here's the strategy: when you meet up, keep your emotions in check. Show interest, of course, but in a controlled, measured way. It's about striking a balance. You're happy to see her, but you're not over the moon. This approach plays into the psychological concept of playing hard to get. It's a classic for a reason. When you're not overly enthusiastic, it creates a challenge for her. She starts wondering why you're not as excited as she expected, which can actually make her more attracted to you. It's a form of reverse psychology. The less you show, the more she wants to see. But remember, this isn't about being cold or distant. It's about creating allure and intrigue around your feelings. It keeps her guessing and makes every bit of affection or excitement from you feel like a hard-earned reward. This careful balance keeps her on her toes and increases your psychological hold over her. You're not just another open book, you're a chapter she's constantly trying to read. Still waters run deep, as the old proverb goes, and it is with this wisdom that we embark on a journey through the annals of history, exploring the subtle art of emotional restraint. Picture, if you will, the bustling streets of ancient Rome, where the air is thick with the scent of olive oil and the echoes of merchants hawking their wares. It is here, amidst the grandeur of marble columns and the whispers of political intrigue, that we find our story. In the heart of this empire, there lived a senator named Lucius. Known for his stoic demeanor and sharp intellect, Lucius was a man who understood the power of emotional control. He was a master of the psychological game, a skill that served him well in the cutthroat world of Roman politics. Lucius knew that to show too much excitement was to reveal one's hand, to give away the power that lay in mystery and composure. One day, Lucius was summoned to a meeting with the emperor himself. This was a rare honor, one that could elevate his status or lead to his downfall. As he prepared for the encounter, Lucius reminded himself of the rule: don't show too much excitement. He knew that the emperor, like all powerful figures, was drawn to those who maintained their composure, who did not fawn or flatter excessively. As Lucius entered the grand hall, he was greeted by the sight of the emperor seated on a gilded throne, surrounded by advisors and guards. The room was silent, all eyes on him. Lucius approached with measured steps, his face a mask of calm interest. He bowed respectfully, but not too deeply, and met the emperor's gaze with steady eyes. The emperor, accustomed to sycophants and flatterers, was intrigued by Lucius's demeanor. Here was a man who did not grovel or gush, who held his emotions in check. This composure piqued the emperor's curiosity, and he found himself wanting to know more about this enigmatic senator. Throughout their conversation, Lucius maintained his controlled demeanor. He listened attentively, responded thoughtfully, and showed interest without overstepping. The emperor, used to being the center of attention, found this refreshing. Lucius's restraint created an air of mystery, a challenge that the emperor was eager to unravel. The emperor extended an invitation to Lucius to join his inner circle. This was a testament to the power of emotional control, of not showing too much excitement. Lucius had played the game well, and his composure had earned him a place of influence. In the days that followed, Lucius continued to practice this rule. He understood that in the game of psychological influence, less was often more. By keeping his emotions in check, he maintained an allure that kept others guessing, always wanting to know more. This strategy served Lucius well, not only in politics, but in his personal life. He was a man of few words, but when he spoke, people listened. His restraint made his moments of genuine excitement all the more impactful, a hard-earned reward for those around him. We see the timeless wisdom in the rule, don't show too much excitement. It is a lesson in the power of emotional control, of maintaining a balance between interest and composure. In doing so, we create an allure that draws others in, a mystery that keeps them engaged. We navigate our own interactions. Let us remember the lesson of Lucius. Let us strive to be like still waters, deep and intriguing, holding our power in the mystery of our composure. For in the game of influence, it is not always the loudest voice that is heard, but the one that speaks with quiet confidence and controlled excitement. Our fellow seekers of wisdom, have you ever pondered the profound question that has echoed through the corridors of time? How do we, as mere mortals, navigate the treacherous waters of fleeting pleasures while keeping our eyes fixed on the distant shores of our deepest aspirations? This, dear friends, is a query that has perplexed philosophers, challenged emperors, and confounded the common folk alike throughout the ages. Let us embark on a journey through history, to a time when the Roman Empire stood at the zenith of its power. Picture, if you will, the bustling streets of Rome, where the air was thick with the scent of ambition and the promise of glory. It was in this crucible of human achievement that we encounter the story of Lucius, a young senator with dreams as vast as the empire itself. Lucius, like many of us, found himself at a crossroads. On one path lay the immediate gratifications offered by the lavish banquets and hedonistic pursuits so prevalent in Roman high society. On the other, the arduous road of public service and the relentless pursuit of his political ambitions. The choice he would make would not only shape his destiny but serve as a testament to the enduring power of prioritizing one's goals above momentary pleasures. As we delve deeper into Lucius's tale, we find that he was not immune to the temptations that surrounded him. The allure of wine-soaked evenings and the company of beautiful courtesans beckoned, promising respite from the weighty responsibilities that burdened his young shoulders. Yet, something within him, a spark of greatness, perhaps, urged him to resist. With each invitation declined and every hour devoted to his studies and political maneuverings, Lucius found himself transforming. His peers began to take notice, not of his absence from their revelries, but of his growing presence in the Senate. His words carried weight, his ideas resonated with both the old guard and the plebeians alike. Lucius was becoming a force to be reckoned with. But let us not mistake Lucius's dedication for mere stoicism or cold ambition. No, dear listeners, for in his pursuit of greatness, he discovered a pleasure far more profound than any fleeting indulgence could offer. It was the deep satisfaction of progress, the thrill of intellectual growth, and the pride of serving a purpose greater than himself. As months turned to years, Lucius's star continued to rise. Those who once mocked his abstinence from their frivolities now sought his counsel. The very same individuals who had dismissed him as a dour, fun-averse youth now looked upon him with a mixture of respect and envy. Lucius had become the prize, the one whose time and attention were coveted commodities in the political arena of Rome. Yet, the true test of Lucius's resolve came not in the form of temptation, but in the guise of love. Enter Claudia, a woman of remarkable beauty and intellect, who captured Lucius's heart with the same swiftness that he had captured the Senate's attention. Here was a dilemma that many of us can relate to, the pull between personal desires and professional ambitions. In this crucible of emotion and duty, Lucius demonstrated the very essence of what it means to prioritize one's goals. He did not shun Claudia, nor did he abandon his aspirations. Instead, he invited her to walk alongside him on his journey, to share in his vision for Rome and for himself. Claudia, rather than feeling neglected, found herself drawn ever more powerfully to Lucius's unwavering sense of purpose. Their relationship blossomed not in spite of Lucius's ambitions, but because of them. Claudia saw in Lucius a man of substance, someone who was not content to simply exist, but was determined to leave his mark on the world. This, dear friends, is the magnetic pull of a person who knows their worth and stays true to their path. As Lucius ascended to the highest echelons of Roman politics, eventually becoming a trusted advisor to the emperor himself, he never forgot the lesson that had served him so well. That true fulfillment comes not from chasing every fleeting pleasure, but from steadfast dedication to one's highest aspirations. The tale of Lucius serves as a powerful reminder to us all. In a world that constantly bombards us with distractions and instant gratifications, we must ask ourselves, what are we building? What legacy do we wish to leave? Are we content to be leaves blown about by the winds of momentary desire, or do we wish to be the mighty oaks that stand firm, reaching ever skyward? Let us take a moment to reflect on our own lives. How often have we sacrificed long-term happiness for short-term pleasure? How many times have we allowed the urgent to overshadow the important? Lucius's story challenges us to recalibrate our priorities, to view our time and energy as the precious resources they truly are. But make no mistake, dear listeners, this is not a call to a life of joyless toil. Far from it. It is an invitation to discover the profound satisfaction that comes from aligning our daily actions with our deepest values and most cherished goals. It is about finding joy not in fleeting moments of pleasure, but in the steady progress towards becoming the best versions of ourselves. As we draw this tale to a close, let us carry with us the wisdom of Lucius. Let us remember that in prioritizing our ambitions, we do not diminish our capacity for love or happiness, we enhance it. We become individuals of substance, worthy of admiration and respect. We become the authors of our own destinies, rather than mere spectators in the game of life. Then, when you go forth from this moment, ask yourselves, what are your Rome-sized ambitions? What goals burn within you, yearning to be realized? Embrace them, nurture them, and let them guide your path. For in doing so, you will not only transform your own life, but inspire those around you to reach for greatness as well. Remember, the choice is always yours. Will you lose yourself in the fleeting pleasures of the moment, or will you, like Lucius, set your sights on the horizon and march steadfastly towards your dreams? The answer, as always, lies within you. Choose wisely, for in your choices, you write the story of your life. If these lessons resonate with you, consider how they might apply to your own life. Share your thoughts, engage with others who seek to grow, and continue exploring the depths of human potential. Remember, it's not just about being remembered, it's about leaving a legacy of purpose and passion. Please like, share this video and subscribe for more value content. Thank you so much and see you next time.